the hardest thing you overcame in your life?
Yes, definitely by far. I mean, I don't think a lot of 18-year-olds go through this in their life, and I definitely thought that I wouldn't be one of them. But it's kind of weird how it's felt so long ago, like it was so long ago, and it was only a couple years ago. But I've been able to move on, continue with my life, continue to get my education, and play a sport that I love, and that's just so rewarding. My name is Madison Hopper. I play softball here at the University of the Pacific, and I'm a cancer survivor. At first, the first thought that came to my head was, why me? Like, why did this happen to me? I don't understand. And of course, I was scared. I mean, anybody would be scared in that situation. And it was tough. It was tough on my parents. It was tough on my siblings, and I was very scared, yeah. So I discovered that there is this lump on my face. It was growing right here next to my ear. I thought there was nothing wrong with it. I thought it was maybe just had to do with my wisdom teeth. I was scheduled to get them pulled a little bit after that, and I didn't think anything of it. I went to college. I started here as a freshman, and my parents actually came down to visit me during the fall and saw that the bump was getting bigger and kind of just an odd shape. So I went home for Thanksgiving break, and they wanted me to get a CT scan done. So I did, and they weren't sure what it was at first, and so they wanted me to come back Christmas break and get a biopsy done on it, and that's when they found it. They first diagnosed it as a squamous cell carcinoma, and then eventually found out that it was this mucoepidermoid carcinoma, and said that they needed to remove it immediately. I ended up having to get surgery. That surgery lasted about 13 hours. It was a really long surgery, and after I got out of the hospital a couple weeks after surgery, they then immediately put me into radiation and chemo treatments. So I ended up having to do 33 radiation treatments and 6 chemo infusions, and this is all in a span of about 3 months. Each chemo treatment took about 6 hours in a day in total, so they would have to hook me up to the IV, and then they would first pump fluids into my body just to make sure I was hydrated throughout the whole process. And then they'd also give me some anti-nausea medicine, because a lot of people get nauseous and sick from chemo. And then they would bring in the actual chemo. And it's poison that you have to put in your body in order to kill the cancer inside of you. And then after they did the actual chemo, then they would do post fluids and run that through my body just to make sure that it got flushed out after they put it in. So it was a long process. It took like the majority of the day, and it really does a lot on your body. You're putting poison into your body. I decided to first call my coach. I told him what had happened and what my diagnosis was. He immediately started asking questions like, how can we get through this? Like, what do we need to do? And I told him that I was going to have to take the rest of the year off. I asked him to tell my teammates because I just felt that it would be impersonal if I, sent him a text. So I had him tell them, and it definitely came as a shock to them as well. I mean, that's not something that you hear every day. They sent flowers to the hospital and a card with all of their names on it and just little notes saying like, we're here for you, we support you. And athletics as a whole actually ended up making these little bracelets saying Hopper Strong, and I thought that was really awesome because I didn't know that like that would have an effect on them as well. But everybody was just so supportive, and you know, strangers even reached out to me, and I'd never talked to them before, and they said like, hey, we're praying for you, and we're hoping that you get through this. And it was really nice. I mean, I lost some of my hearing during my treatments. I lost 60% in my left ear and 40% in my right ear. So that definitely been a transition for me, especially in classes and playing softball. And I've had to overcome some health issues, you know, just not being able to perform as well as I used to. It was really hard on my body to come back and start training again and get into playing softball again since I had taken so much time off. But I'd say not much has changed. I still feel that like the same person I was when I first came here as a freshman, and I would say I have a lot more empathy for people now. I just feel I've been in a place of pain and of fear, and I feel that, and I feel like I can relate to people that are in that position too. I would say that mentally the toughest part for me was getting back into school and playing a sport. It was really tough on me to, like, my body physically was still weak, and so it was really tough for me to adjust back into what I was used to before. I definitely couldn't run as long as I could before, and mentally I wasn't as sharp, I feel like, as I was before either. It was really difficult for me to get back into schoolwork and homework and all that stuff. My faith has been the reason why I was able to get through such a difficult time like that. I mean, I know that God has an amazing plan for my life, and the verse Jeremiah 29:11 actually popped up a lot. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." And that definitely stuck with me throughout this whole process, and it gave me this overwhelming peace that I was gonna be okay, I was gonna make it, and I was gonna be better than I was before. So I would just say that trusting in the plan that God had for my life was the reason why I was able to get through this successfully. I know what I'm capable of, and I know that God's plan for me is good, and I know that He gave me this obstacle because He knew I could handle it, and that I would be able to share my story and let other people see God through me. I've been cancer-free for about a year now, and I've had multiple scans done afterwards, and everything showed up clear, so you can't get through anything with God, that's all.